Look at the sheer scale of this gathering. In Ghana, funerals are massive, elaborate celebrations that bind the community together. They bring hundreds, sometimes thousands of people together to uphold shared traditions and strengthen social bonds. To ensure that vast network of relatives, friends, and neighbors actually arrives, families rely on a very specific medium, the funeral poster. These function as practical public announcements while serving as vital visual tributes that honor the departed. And they speak a visual language governed by strict traditional codes. The colors chosen carry heavy cultural weight, typically black and red to signal deep mourning, or white and cream if the deceased was an elder or member of the clergy. Producing a poster that meets these exact standards is a core social requirement. It is the primary way families preserve the dignity of the deceased and organize the grieving community. This responsibility usually falls squarely on the shoulders of the chief mourner. While processing their own grief, they must instantly pivot to logistics, finding a way to rapidly design, fund, and distribute these elaborate posters across the entire region. Historically, that meant hiring a professional graphic designer on an incredibly tight timeline, adding steep financial costs and a layer of intense stress to an already difficult week. But this expensive, vital, physical medium contains a painful irony. Despite the high cost and deep cultural importance, printed posters are inherently temporary. Once mounted on wooden posts along the roadside, they are entirely vulnerable to harsh weather. This creates a real tension for families. They have a deep desire to build a lasting, dignified tribute to their loved one, but the physical medium is a fragile piece of paper that will eventually tear, wash away, or be discarded. To relieve some of this immediate logistical pressure, many families turn to free, downloadable digital templates. These pre-designed layouts act as a cost-effective stopgap, saving crucial time when families need it most. These digital templates are purposely built for traditional Ghanaian funerals. At the layout center sits a framed portrait, above the deceased's name and titles. Below, a timeline organizes dates for the wake, burial, and Thanksgiving. Finally, an acknowledgement section lists the chief mourner and relatives. By providing this exact structure out of the box, these templates democratize the design process. Families can meet their strict cultural obligations and produce a professional tribute without an expensive agency. However, this free solution brings its own set of problems. Many templates result in generic designs that fail to capture the family's specific preferences. Worse, some of these free files are low resolution, meaning they severely pixelate and blur when blown up for large poster prints. There is also a customization barrier. To actually populate the wireframe with personal details, families still need a working knowledge of design software like Word, Canva, or Photoshop. Ultimately, while templates solve the short-term problem of creating the poster, they fail to fix the long-term problem of the medium. The final output is still a fragile piece of paper. The solution to that fragility is taking the poster out of the physical world entirely. Platforms like Ghana Memorial have introduced the everlasting digital obituary, serving as the modern evolution of the traditional mourning poster. This approach takes the exact structure of the physical announcement, retaining the mandatory layouts, the family hierarchies, and those vital cultural colors, and translates them into a digital page that can be instantly shared via a link. Moving the medium from paper to the web solves two massive problems at once. It bypasses the geographic limits of physical distribution, reaching relatives across the country in seconds, and it completely eliminates the issue of physical degradation. The digital page also expands into a complete ecosystem. It acts as a centralized hub for all supporting documents, allowing families to host the full multi-page funeral program and brochure online, entirely avoiding the heavy costs of printing bulky booklets. It also opens the door for global participation. With an online condolence book, members of the Ghanaian diaspora can submit their own written tributes and memories from anywhere in the world directly onto the memorial page. To further relieve the pressure on the chief mourner, platforms often include a centralized funeral planner feature. This tool organizes all the complex logistics and funeral communications in one accessible dashboard. Compare this permanent, globally accessible ecosystem to those weather-beaten physical posters we saw earlier. The paper version serves its immediate purpose, but it inevitably yields to time and the elements. By merging rich West African cultural traditions with the permanence of modern digital technology, families can achieve their ultimate goal. They ensure that the respect, honor, and memories of their loved ones do not wash away in the rain, but live on to anchor future generations.